All the amendments of the Act were done, so the amendments were totally finished. Some of the aspects of the amendments were proclaimed straight away, and then others were pushed out over time. So the buyback was proclaimed straight away, and the buyback is being reviewed, as you know. We still haven't heard. That was supposed to have come out in November last year. So the government has got the report on the buyback, but they haven't released it yet, and they haven't decided, I suppose, which or what they're doing. So they've done an interim report from the buyback, but they've just reported on some villages in Brisbane, 8 of them, where they are owned by the residents. So what happened was the operator built the village and then sold each of the residents a share. And so the residents became an operator. Yeah. And it is, to my mind, it's a really difficult thing to do. It is bedlam. And so they did an interim report on how they were going to handle those villages, and those villages don't have to do a buyback because the residents have no way of raising money to buy back. So I think the interim report said they wouldn't have to buy back, but because it's just residents, there's no operators, and they've got a body corp manager. Well, I don't know. We all came in with reducing the buyback. Obviously, the operators, when they did the consultation, the operators came in with their own suggestion around buyback. And I know that a lot of the other states are also looking at buyback. Some of the states have made making a difference between metropolitan and regional areas. So they're making metropolitan 6 months and regional 12 months. That's what New South Wales are doing. So there's a whole lot. So I think they're all looking at each other at the moment around the buyback.
I don't know about the actual current contract, but I know, say, this time last year, I was told that the contract is a 12-month buyback now in here. The ones that they were selling last year, they have automatically reduced
to 12 months.
Their own accord. So clearly they see some advantage in that.
Yes. Because you know those over 55 resorts, their big sell was no exit fees. That's right. So, you know, I think some of the operators are positioning themselves now. So some of the new contracts have a lot shorter. And I think that may drive what the exit review panel was saying, because so many of the operators have already reduced them to 12 months. So the Act may reduce it, but we wait and see. And then it'll become retrospective to everybody's contract. It won't just be on the new contracts. Well, it should have been released in November last year, the report. Then we heard by February. But then, of course, they got the new minister and the elections, and apparently it's sitting on the minister's desk. Leanne Enoch.
Gotcha. Yeah.
She was prior, yeah. But she's now with communities. Okay. So it's communities.
When I heard her speak at an AGM down on the Sunny Coast.
Well, I'm hoping that she'll come to our next AGM, which will be in Chermside.
I still can't believe that so many retirement villages haven't joined the ARQRV.
Yeah.
I mean, that's unreal, the benefits there. So hopefully these videos that set up will go out to the people that are thinking about
Yes.
And get more of them to realise the advantages of it.
The two things that are outstanding is standardised contracts and the finances. So I've just last week I received the consultation paper for both of those. So the standardised, the financials are talking about that operators must have 3 separate accounts that residents can have access to. So you will see the ins and outs of the Maintenance Reserve Fund, of the Capital Replacement Fund, and also the general service charges. The line items have to be broken down a lot more into break down the head office expense. You know, some of the expenses have to be listed separately on a different line item. So you might find, so it won't come out for this financial year because it's only in consultation. It'll be for the next financial year. What operators or what residents need to be aware of, though, there'll be a lot of new line items in the budget, but they may not necessarily be a new expense. They're just breaking them down. They're pulling them out. Yes. So yeah, but you won't have to have a special resolution because it's a new line item. It always was hidden under a heading. That's right. So it's more about that, how they report is going to be the financial amendments. And then the other one is they're trying to do a new standardised contract.
I was going to ask you that.
So that is, and I've seen their proposed standardised contract, which is, so everybody will have to use the same headings and the same format, but obviously they put in their own information. So their own information will be left, what they can put in there, will be left for them to put in. But it was in English, it wasn't a legalese document. You know, you could really understand it, of what they'd written. And they've also, the department... Could you understand yours? No, I couldn't. No, so legal, yeah. So this will be and they will have to use that. Unfortunately, that's not retrospective, so your current contract stands. They did do a simple English, but what they had to do, and there are villages who are changing contracts to give better conditions to residents because they've brought them in line with what they're selling now. So the old residents with old contracts, they've offered them to change over to the new contracts, but they wanted to change the whole village, so they had to get all the residents to agree to the change. Yes, it would be more, I think it would be harder in a larger village. And the other thing that one village did, which I'm really trying to get it, we're thinking about if we can do it in my village, is can we somehow perhaps pay a bit more into the maintenance reserve fund, but get all our maintenance done in our villas? Because we have to replace ourselves and pay for, you may not, but in my village we have to maintain, repair and replace ducted air conditioning, hot water systems, ovens, stovetops. Oh, we do have to pay for, we pay for all of that. Yes, so I know that one village, they actually did that. They actually managed, all the residents had to agree, but they made it that they would change, they would repair, replace air conditioning, hot water systems. And no, it's up to the village.
Because in the old days, see, a lot of them, it was written there, 10%.
No, because it's a new contract. Yeah, it's in my contract, yes. You know, there's some concern that managers could be or use it in ways that are not in the best interest of the resident, and they can abuse it. So there is some discussion. I don't think that the paper came out, the consultation paper raises it as an issue of how that should happen. And really, perhaps should then, if they're coming in with no family that's around, should the village manager or the operators know who the enduring power of attorney is to be able to make those decisions, rather than have the manager make that decision that there's an ACAT assessment, who do we contact to do this?